YouTube, what's happening? It's your man's WeaponizedEX, aka EX Daddy, back again with another video as promised. So the topic today is solo queue versus parties. The gameplay is actually going to be raid TDM. We're using the actually a Crate 6 loadout, pretty sick loadout there. I'm actually going to put a little clip at the end of the video just to kind of show you guys what we're working with. But always, you know, definitely drop a like if you like it, and we're going to go ahead and get into this video. So we're going to treat this as a two-parter. Part one is going to be for, you know, all you Mr. Solo Dolos, you lonely stoners, you guys who do not accept party invites and think you're better than everyone on your friends list and play solo queue all the time. Now, I say that as I'm uploading a solo queue gameplay, and to be honest, yeah, I'm a solo queue player. Like, you know, it's something I'm definitely trying to get away from now, but this is one of those things and one of those games where solo queuing is not going to be a good thing. Now, I know some of you guys are like, yeah, but Weapon, I'm good enough to carry solo. Like, other people just slow me down. Like, okay, you know, whatever, superstar, do you. But, you know, after you throw your PlayStation or whatever you're playing on out the window in frustration, just remember, I told you this was going to happen, okay? This game does not want you to be good at it. And I've said this on this channel a few times now. This game does not want you to be good. They don't want you dropping 30, 40 kills in the lobby by yourself, let alone hitting a nuke or something like that. So definitely solo queuing is going to be kind of a frustrating experience with hitboxes going inside out and, you know, aim assist turning on and off randomly and different things like that. So if you know, you're a glutton for punishment, you're going to do it anyway. Okay, definitely, you know, play the game the way you want to play it. But here's just a few tips that, you know, kind of might help you in that endeavor and kind of show you where you might want to put your focus. So first things first, tip number one, you want to play top down. Okay, so that's something we kind of used to say a lot back in the Halo days. Is to play top down basically just means to be looking at the map as a whole. And like for this tip, I'm assuming, oh, you got whacked. I'm assuming you're kind of an advanced player anyway. I'm assuming you know like power positions, you know routes, you kind of know how each map works, and you have like your shot and movement basically down. Don't know how he didn't die there. Basically down, right? Like what you want to do is be almost creating a checklist for like what needs to happen for you to win on the map. Like, you got to know, okay, here's what needs to happen for this, you know, 5 or 6 players to beat this 5 or 6 players on this map. We need to make sure we're holding this tower position, you know, make sure we're locking down this flank route, shooting down counter UAVs. We got to have a trophy on the hard point when we do this, that, or the other. And when you're solo queuing, you know, you need to realize like, hey, about 2 or 3 of those things you're gonna have to be doing by yourself. Like, as a matter of fact, damn near the majority of the time you're gonna have to be doing all of that by yourself. Okay, and that's just, I mean, that's just the way it is when you're playing solo queue. So, you know, even if you're not like that advanced of a player, I mean, once you get some of the basics down, like the mechanics, and you kind of start getting comfortable like with your shot and certain things, we're gonna kind of do some videos on that as well, on like all the different movement glitches and how to center and different things like that. It's really not that hard to do. Like, you can, you know, I feel like you guys can do it. Like, you can definitely get to that level and start to kind of look at games and, you know, kind of influence games by yourself that way. So going into the next tip, and this kind of feeds into that first one, you definitely want to hold the power position. So and that, you know, that's something you're going to want to do, because more often than not when you're playing solo, like, you're going to be the best player on that team, right? So you're going to need to be the one kind of like enforcing different things on the map. Like, even here, for example, like on this map, you kind of have to like really control these outside pushes when people are coming off their spawn. And you'll notice like none of my teammates are pushing up this way. They're all pushing low side and getting slayed out like crazy. So I'm pretty much up here just fighting by myself to try to keep the enemy team in their spawn, keep flanking kids off the spawn and winning those gunfights, and protecting our spawn. This kid's trying to do the same thing I was trying to do. He's trying to come in on the side as all of my teammates are running the wrong way and, you know, get slayed. So I'm shutting him down, and I'm trying to put pressure on their side and get over there and start spawn killing them. So like I said, you got to be holding the power positions. You're going to want to be that main slayer on your team, that anchor that's kind of like, you know, just punishing people for moving around the map incorrectly, or just keeping them honest as they're trying to get map control from your team. Like, another good way to think of it, like if the enemy team's going to try to take map control from you guys, from your team, you want them literally running into a brick wall. Like, you're the brick wall. You got to be that for your team. You have to be the immovable object on the map, where every time they try to go get map control, they're getting naded, street sniped, you know, AK'd, or whatever it is that you got to do to keep people out of, you know, the important spots on the map. So that kind of brings us into the next tip. Gas grenades, man. Going into the next tip, and this was kind of like a really advanced thing. This is something I kind of struggle with myself. You want to definitely be killing the power players and killing the important players on the enemy team, because, you know, like I said, like, people do all kinds of weird stuff in matchmaking. So you'll have the one kid running into the enemy team spawn with his combat knife trying to work on camos, or you'll have another guy, you know, who thinks he's in phase clan or whatever, you know, hiding in the back of your map with a sniper, or worse, like just pushing up and missing quick scopes over and over again. And somebody on the enemy team's gonna be cleaning those kids up. Somebody's gonna be, you know, shutting stuff down and getting a bunch of kills. What you want to do is you want to be killing that kid and shooting his body as many times as you can. Now, I know, you know, that's toxic or whatever, but there's a reason for it. Because what you don't want to happen is you don't want that kid doing what you're supposed to be doing. You don't want him going on streaks, you know, locking down map control and killing a bunch of players on your team. You don't want that happening. So a lot of times, even if you start to kind of lose the individual battle with that player, if you can just shoot their body a couple of times and then get them, you know, spending an extra 2 seconds shooting your body, or get them looking for you because they want to make sure, you know, they're going kill for kill with you or whatever, like, that can distract them long enough to give them that extra 2 seconds they're not on the hard point, or that extra 2 seconds, you know, that they're not rotating with their team, which can help the other guys on your team have a better chance against his guys, or it can even just like throw him off a little bit and get him outside of his game. So that's something that is kind of an advanced tip. And I mean, you can make the argument like that, you know, well, he can do the same thing to you. Yeah, most definitely. I've definitely had that happen to me a couple of times. I'll be in like a game and I'll be going back and forth with one kid, and I'll get a little bit too into it. Next thing you know, it's 30 seconds left and we're down 20 points. And it gets really complicated solo queuing again, because if there's more than one player that's decent on the team, now it's like you're in a chess match with 2 or 3 people at the same time. You know, now it's like, okay, I've got to figure out how I'm going to take all. See, now here, for some reason on this guy, I got like no aim assist on him. So when he ran by, at first I thought he was on my team. So I just decided to challenge it anyway, just in case, and ended up getting the kill. But, you know, that's something that you're going to want to do. So going into the last tip, you can see I'm using a Craig 6, which is a super consistent, super good gun to use in this game. It's a meta weapon, like they use a lot in competitive and different things like that. You want to be using those guns because you got to think about it. Again, you're playing within a system where not only do you have to play against players, you have to play against the system itself as you're playing. So you're going to want to go to the overpowered stuff. You're going to want to go to the gas grenades. You're going to want to go to the dual pistols, to the M16, the AUG, the AK. You're going to want to go to all that stuff when you're solo queuing, because, you know, you've got so many things working against you already. Like, you're going to need, you need at least your gun to kill people. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need the thing to work correctly and do what it's supposed to do. A lot of times in Call of Duty, that's just the way it is. There's 1 or 2 really overpowered guns that are really efficient, and you're going to need to maximize your efficiency just because of the fact that you by yourself have to do so much. So, you know, that's something you want to keep in mind as well. So that's going to do it, and that's a good segue actually into this class setup as well. But that's going to do it for this video. Part 2, we're going to go into some things you can do and look for when you're playing in parties. But let's go ahead and get into this class setup, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into this class setup for the video. Like I said in the beginning, we're using the Craig 6. This is going to be kind of like a, I guess like a, almost like a blueprint for pretty much all my AR classes. For matchmaking, I definitely like to use Engineer, Quartermaster, and Ghost. Those are just kind of the perks I like to use. Like I said, you want to have your main weapon to be really, really efficient. So Gunfighter is the wild card. So we got Gunfighter, we've got, you know, the perks there. I like to use Stim Shot because, you know, you're going to be taking a lot of gunfights back to back. You need to be able to kind of like, you know, heal up and jump back into the next fight really quickly. Semtex is just all around a really good, kind of like universally good, like kind of like lethal to use. Obviously the trophy system, because, you know, you're always going to get that lobby where nobody's running trophies and you're just getting naded out of every hard point. So you're going to need that. Howard shotgun. So or however you say it. Like I've got the infantry choke, ranger barrel, laser. This is the one that I think increases like hip fire accuracy. Then you got the I've got the super drop shot handle basically, and the tac stock. Which I mean, with this you can even like upgrade it to different types of stocks. With this, I'm kind of experimenting a little bit because I'm wondering if it actually would be better for a wider pellet spread. Because I notice sometimes with the super tight pellet spread, sometimes it's just you don't get registration. Like the registration is just weird on that attachment. I'm not sure why. Going into the Creek 6, we're going to be using the what's the optic? So the Microflex LED. I think this is like the best optic in the game. It's just super clean. You know, it gives you kind of that wide like field of view, and it doesn't really obstruct your view that much, which is great. I've got standard suppressor on there, Ranger barrel, like we talked about a couple videos ago. Bullet velocity, very, very important. Okay, it's going to give me those consistent shots and give me those consistent, you know, damage and fast kill times. Also, we're going to have the target designator. So for this is for, you notice in that game I was ADS'd a lot of the time, which is kind of how you have to play with ARs in this game. You kind of want to be pre-aimed and like burger walk and like camera people when you can. We'll do videos on that later. But this basically makes it so that people stand out a little bit more and it's easier to actually see people as they're approaching. So then we've got the speed grip. Just gives me a faster sprint speed so I can get to certain places quickly. 40 round mag. I got the aim down sight time on this. It's just to give me super snappy aim. You could even, if you have this unlocked, you could go with this. This is actually probably what I was actually using in that video, was this one right here. Just because like this is like the Serpent Wrap, I use it a lot, but this is the better version of it. Because on most guns, not only will it give you, sometimes like on this, even higher ADS speed, but it will give you flinch resistance, and you'll be able to drop shot people. Only bad thing is you're going to get like that shooting moving speed is going to go down, and sprint to fire time is going to go down. But it's like, you know, it's not a sub at the end of the day. So it's like, you know, you can kind of like take that L a little bit. Then going to the next one, we have the combat stock, shooting movement speed, and aim walking movement speed. The reason why I use this over the Raider, shooting movement speed is like, so when you're spraying somebody, still being able to strafe a little bit. Like I don't want to necessarily be shooting somebody and then have to literally stand still while I'm shooting them. So that's something I always think about when I'm using stocks, is I want something that's going to boost my shooting moving speed just a little bit, just so I can still kind of, you know, be making them have to adjust slightly as I'm shooting them. But that's going to do it for this class setup. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been noticing a lot more comments and interaction, you know, on the videos. So definitely thank you guys so much for that. I go by the name of WeaponizedEX, and I will see you again next time.